Stay tuned on my video right here on Social Goals.
Say one thing before we start the show too. If you're not having a good time, but if you're not having a good time, you're wasting your time. You say that every night.
Relationships and situationships and all things. Thank you so much.
Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I was over here jamming on the one. Y'all, happy New Day. Welcome to Happy New Day Podcast, episode 18. We're talking about dating in 2023, part 2. But first, pause. I just want to say, like that intro right there, Social Goats. Y'all, I'm so honored to be a part of Social Goats Network right here in Shreveport, Bossier City. Okay, so hats off to Social Goats, our producer, Darien Willis. You're so humble. You're so wonderful. You're so awesome, Darien. I'm so honored to be partnered with you. So thank you for having me on your network. It's a blessing. So y'all, he's in the audience today and he's producing. You better do it, Darien. Just talented. Y'all, we're going to jump right in because I know we're a little behind. So we do appreciate you, audience. We appreciate y'all for waiting. We appreciate your patience. So we're going to chime on in. Like I said, today we're talking about dating in 2023, part 2. Y'all, part 1, please go check it out. It was so good. So y'all can follow us on Social Goats, follow us on Happy New Day pages. And you can look at part 1, y'all. It was so good. Okay. So y'all ready? Hey, panel. Y'all out there, say hey to the people. Hey, y'all.
Good morning. Hey, everyone.
Y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Thanks for having us back, Bree.
Aw, Gabby. I'm glad you're back. Thank you for coming on back. Y'all, we have Korey Barry. We have Quantas James, Darien Willis, the producer. We have Korey Barry, all natives of Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana. Quantas is drinking something good over there. He's coming at us live from Dallas, Texas. Quantas. Last time, Quantas, we really, you have to say, last time we didn't get to. His iPhone was I shouldn't have said iPhone because I'm still baby all iPhone all day, okay? But y'all, he's not an iPhone, he's Android. That just hit me, baby. Them Androids. See, come on over, Quantas. Just come on over, okay? Bless his heart. Look at that. I thought it was an iPhone at first. Duh, it makes sense. Well, anyway, we're glad he's back. We're gonna chime on in. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Okay, so we left y'all our last show. We left off with the question in, and they all shut me down and said, "No, Bree, that needs to be the part 2." Okay, I was trying to get it. I didn't want to let the people go, y'all. All right, so the question was, what did you learn, ladies and gentlemen? What did from your last relationship? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Pause. Sorry, y'all. I hit my phone here because this time I'm gonna have to be watching the comments, y'all, and I'm gonna let you know what they say because we're not gonna be able to see it on the screen this time. So somebody hop in. What did you learn from your last relationship? I'm ready.
Okay, I'll hop. Oh, go ahead, Halena.
No, go.
Oh, okay. So somebody said no go. Either one of y'all. Halena, who was the other one? Halena, you wanna chime in? Go ahead.
Yeah. So just really quickly, I had to really take a step back and do some self-reflection. And I had to evaluate the type of men that I was consistently drawing attraction to. So that took time, a lot of dedication, a lot of work. And I realized that it was not only them that was maybe the problem, but it was also me. And that was hard to come to that realization, but it it was growth, a lot of therapy, still to this day, intentionally taking a year to do reflection in that work. So it will. I don't think that I can say now that it wasn't a bad thing that we ended. It was more of God just showing me that it was time for me to get in aligned, gain the confidence, gain the self awareness, to really grow in my purpose, and to really start to see who am I attracting, not just in the man, but also in my friendships, my professional relationships, and things drastically changed in my life. So today I could say it was a blessing. At that time, it was very hard, but it was a blessing overall.
Love it. Wow. So Helena, you're saying that you learned to work on yourself,
Yeah,
right? And just take out some time and get some therapy. That's what I heard from what you said.
yeah. You have to really be intentional about that too, because you can't just go to therapy and think that a couple sessions are just it's going to fix everything. You really have to go through the process. It's still a process. You have to kind of go through those stages. I kind of related to the 7 stages of grieving, because it's a process. You get triggered by different things. You have to, sit there with it. And I think that that's important, even as I go and approach a new relationship, is that it takes work. It's not just going to come overnight. They're not just going to know me overnight. I really have to be, again, the keyword intentional about how I go about my interactions with people, because I want them to see the authentic self. And I don't think that's what I was portraying. Sometimes I was trying to match what I thought they wanted in someone. But now it's more of, let's come together. Let's be one. Let's not 50-50. It's 100-100. And so now it's really, like I said, it's a whole process. I could go all day about it. But ultimately that's what I gained from that experience.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, shout out to therapy. Um, I too learned also from my last relationship, but through my therapist as well. And I'm going to put it in my own words, of course. But one of the things I learned through all of my previous relationships is that I have to love myself just as much as I'm loving the person. I approach my relationships like an audition and a competition, to make sure that I was auditioning for this role. Um, And in doing that, I've sacrificed myself and without anything, without any of my accomplishments, without any titles, just coming as my authentic self with nothing else is good enough. And I did not know that before going through, and I'm still in therapy. Yay to therapy. But I didn't know that at first. I was approaching relationships as if they were a role I was auditioning for, and I had to prove myself. And improving yourself and then auditioning for it, I was accepting any and everything just to be there for the person. And I was not in any of the relationships, which positioned me to, be hurt. And I'm not just talking about like my heart broken. I'm talking about hurt, for real hurt, in every way. So, I've learned that about myself, is that I'm good enough and that I can love myself just as much or more than the person I'm in a relationship with.
Wow. Kim, when you said auditioning, girl, wow. That was like me. I think I hear a little something. It's like every time I speak, but anyway, when you
should we mute if we're not speaking? Maybe.
Oh yeah, mute if you're not speaking. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, but Kim, when you said auditioning, oh, that is so beautiful. Auditioning for that relationship. I just wanted to point that out. Man, I'm sure many of us can relate to that. Okay. This comment, audience, please comment in the chat from me.
As the last lady, I'll go ahead and chime in for sure. It seems like close to what Halena and Kim said, but instead of therapy, I went another route. I went with like personal development. So still in the same line of improving myself, but I went the personal development route. And what I realized, and I clump all of my exes together. The few of them and the few of them who thought they were dating me, they're all clumped together, right? And so in that, what I noticed over the past, let's say, this year and last year, where I really began to intentionally step into my power as a woman and as a just as a woman in general, I realized that the men and the boys I had been attracting pretty much, my entire life up until went with potential of them. I'm naturally a pretty like Pollyanna, everything's good and happy. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. So when I would be in a relationship with someone that I cared for, when I care for them, like I would project all of my goodness and all of my, all of my love and all of my compassion and benefit of the doubt on them and give them, way credit than probably was due. And I won't, bash them at all and say that, they were bad people or they're bad men, not at all. They were not a good reflection of who I am and who, I wanted to be, at the time. So really taking a look at, taking people for who they truly are and letting them be where they are, in their progression of, of their life has really made a big difference for me and in my own personal worthiness, knowing that, I'm not responsible for, how that person shows up, or I'm not responsible for how they treat me. However, I am responsible for how I respond to them, and how they treat me. And also, a big thing, I really realized that something I made up for myself, it's better to be wanted than to be had. And so in that, I realized like there were a lot of times when I was younger, I would feel like, well, this is a good guy. He checks all the marks, right? And he does all the good things. So I should, be in a relationship with him. And even just on a surface level of, just a plain dating relationship, for me, it's better to be, for this person, this man, to want me than for him to have me, because maybe he still doesn't, live up to the standards or to what I am looking for. And so those were some really big things that made a difference for me and that I noticed over the past few years.
Wow. Okay, some good stuff. Some good stuff right here. Let me read a comment from the audience. Miss Beryl, she says, and if you just tune in, y'all, the question is, what did you learn about yourself from your last relationship? Okay. Or we could do past relationships. It's the same. All right. Miss Beryl, she said, I learned myself understanding that energy is contagious and harboring negativity and past hurts can only hinder myself and my future. Thank you, Miss Beryl. I want to hear from a man, Mr. Quantas. Would you like to let us know what you learned in your past relationship, Pastor?
First of all, I want to say good morning
Good
to everyone.
morning.
Hope y'all had y'all freshly brewed coffee. Let me say,
Such a pastor. Let me mute myself.
yeah. So, what I learned was I learned two things: growth and growth. You know, and we have to set a standard because a lot of times, men, we don't set standards. We just allow women to be women, and sometimes when you don't set a standard, you know, women tend to like to walk through it like nothing even there. So I learned to set a standard and hold that standard up because I know women have a standard they claim they have, or so they say, which I know they do. But sometimes as men, we don't have eyes, and and I learned to stand 10 toes down with mine. I learned that. So when you've been through a lot, you understand a lot. It doesn't take a lot. It's always been my motto.
Shady Will, you're shaking your head. This is your best friend that just talked. Do you want to add to it? Take away? What's up?
He in trouble. I can feel it. You know, I'm just sitting here shaking my head. I know he in trouble. I was in trouble last week. He is definitely in trouble this week. From my past relationships, I've learned to be more patient and actually listen. You know, like they say you can listen, but you're not really listening. Listening with my ears and my mind. When I communicate with a woman, I need to learn. I need to hear her and listen. I need to do both of those. And I think a lot of the times that I was hearing it, but I wasn't listening. So I really learned to be more patient, more understanding, being okay with not like winning an argument or anything like that. And I've learned to be more mature. And that's it for me.
My. I've learned to be more mature. Can y'all hear me? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay. That was good. I am going to move unless someone has something else they forgot to say about that. Anybody?
Hello.
That's some good stuff. Audience? You might want to say anything? Let me see. Nope. Okay. If not, chime in. I'm going to the next question. Okay. All right. Oh man, y'all. Okay, that's some good stuff right there. This leads me to the next question. Because of course, it is important that we learn our stuff. It's not the other person, right? What do we learn about our height? What do we learn about ourselves? So, how self-aware are you, panel? Panel. How self-aware are you? Are you able to identify your own red flags, meaning unhealthy traits that could potentially be damaging to the person or people involved in the relationship? This is really like a part B to the last question, right? Like, what did you notice? What did you learn about yourself? Okay, so it's a follow-up question to the one we just had. Are you able to identify those unhealthy traits? Anybody want to chime in?
So are you implying like I'm not perfect? Is that what you're saying? No.
Right, you're not. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Korey, glad you're with us. Come on, Miss Gabby.
Hey, Korey. I definitely am able to. Hey, Korey. I would say I'm definitely able to see where I was definitely the toxic partner or the domineering partner in my relationship one particular relationship, or where I was just very impatient, or again, going back to what I, just shared, that I had some very unrealistic expectations in my mind, or unrealistic viewpoints that really skewed the relationship. So for sure, at this point, I'm able to look and hold myself accountable to where I can grow and where I can mature and be a more loving and productive partner.
Love it, love it.
I'll go. So I don't have really any red flags because, like Gabby, I am perfect as well. But just to answer the question to engage in this conversation, the two things I would say would get these out. I know I am self-aware, sometimes to a fault, because I will find something wrong, that I need to correct. But two things I can name would be that I can be passive aggressive sometimes, versus just coming right out and saying this is what the issue is. And even dealt with somebody that's passive aggressive, that is definitely a recipe for disaster. And then also I have a little anxious attachment style. So I expect you can't, if you don't call at 10:01 when you said you are, then it's gonna be a problem. And not even like, I don't mean that like that, but I kind of get anxious about those things. If it's a routine and we're off the routine for some reason, I get anxious for those things. Just knowing my attachment style is anxious attachment, and then that I can be passive aggressive with it. So once you don't call me at 10:01, then I'm going to passively aggressively approach that situation. So, but like I said, those are two things I am working on. I'm getting really, really good at not being passive aggressive and being very much assertive and direct. So that helps.
Kim, I love that. I can relate. I love that. Kim if you just tuned in, her and Halena were talking about therapy. And I know Kim from just our talks and, communicating, that she is definitely a promoter of therapy. And yeah, Kim, I can definitely see like, that definitely might be something that, I want to look into, because you're able to identify a lot of things. I can definitely relate to you about the attachment, because I'm that way. If things are not, if we're off our routine, I'm like, wait, hold up. He usually call around this time. He usually, I have to do better about that, and be like, girl, chill out, So anyway, you were preaching to me on that part. All right. Mr. Korey, I'm so glad that you're able to chime in and everything straight. We're talking about how self-aware, unhealthy traits. Let's try to keep it, because y'all know how that time went by last time. So I did want to tell my beautiful, amazing, y'all look good, by the way, out there. Let us also keep our comments. Let's be mindful of the time. Thank you so much. Okay. So Mr. Korey, our question is unhealthy traits about yourself. You know what they are? You want to share your business?
Thank you to the two ladies, Miss Kim and the other lady. Therapy, yes, definitely works. I'm able to identify them. Like she said, I'm passive aggressive. I let some things slide until I can't hold it anymore. That's something I'm working on, and being accountable first and foremost, knowing that I'm not always going to be correct. Being attentive to what is changing in the relationship and why things are changing. Being assertive, letting the other person know where I'm coming, where I feel like we're developing a shortcoming. In developing me, I take all accountability. So a lot of times it's I can't just say one red flag, because when you're dating different people, different things are different triggers. So I try to be mindful that everybody's not the same. Be more patient, be more understanding, and be grounded in who I am. Being self-aware that, okay, I have triggers. Being able to discuss and communicate my triggers to them, so we can kind of balance it out.
I like that. Communication. That's what we talked about last week. Being able to communicate. I love that. So you guys, why do you think, I'm moving on here. Why do you think that someone, let me read it straight like I have it. What do you think it means when you seem to keep dating the same type of toxic? That's a good, y'all. Isn't that a good one?
You have not healed. That's what that means. You have not healed. You have not passed the test. You, instead of getting over, you have gotten under the same person in a different body.
Ooh.
Sometimes you need to take time and realize who you are, what you want, and what you won't accept. That's how you keep ending up with the same person. You keep allowing that same potential, as the young lady Gabby said, setting yourself up for those potentials. Oh, I like this, so I'm going to cling to that in hopes that it becomes this or she becomes that. And we fall for it every time. Moving with the next person instead of being patient and falling in love with ourselves.
3 snaps.
Got an under someone else with a, the same person with a different body. Boy.
I hate to keep talking, y'all. I'm gonna be quiet after this one, but I think that some of it has to do with a lot of the toxic is familiar to us. And it's not necessarily familiar toxicity in romantic relationships, but maybe in our family relationships. So maybe we are used to, men, and I ain't talking about nobody daddy, I'm just giving an example, but maybe we're used to men who are cheaters because our dad was a cheater. We saw our mom being cheated on, and so that's familiar and it's uncomfortable, but it's something that's familiar. We might be attracted to the same type of toxic controlling behavior because in our family we are controlled. So when we meet somebody that's controlling, it feels good because it's familiar. So I think that it's something that we have to recognize, like, why am I attracted to this? Is it something like that? Is it a part of me I need to heal? Is it this or whatever it is, and figure it out? But I think I'll speak for myself. For me, some of the toxic that I attracted to or was attracted to, let's get that together. But some of the toxic that I was attracted to had a direct correlation with the type of toxicity I had gotten comfortable with in my personal relationships that were not romantic.
My God. That's so good. That's so good. Just chime in, y'all.
Agree and can relate to both of those. Yes, it is like naturally inherent for us to, like Kim said, relate to our past, whether that is our childhood or our personal surroundings of a situation that's just comfortable, even if it's unhealthy, but I'm familiar with it. And so I feel like I am me in this unhealthy space. So I definitely relate to that. But also that takes a lot of healing. And going back to our last question of self-awareness, of knowing like, okay, this is not the type of relationship that I say, that I want, but I keep ending up here. And so taking a look at, I can speak for myself. In the past, I've had to take a look at myself like, well, if I keep attracting, this type of person, if I keep attracting this type of man, that must mean that I'm also that type of woman on some level. Maybe not on every level, but on some level, like a magnet, like attracts like. So having to be honest with myself that at a very subconscious level, at a very core level, this is who I am, and this is who I'm putting out into the world, and I want to correct that. So it does take a lot of self-awareness to even, number one, to notice that I'm in a pattern. I'm in a loop of the same person, just with a different face, and take a look at me, like, what about me is allowing me to love this type of person, to attract this type of person, and to stay with this type of person. And going from there, whether it's therapy, again, I did the coaching, personal development route, but whatever you do, you really have to take some very deep looks of truths, sometimes very painful, at yourself, or I had to do that for myself for sure.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. Quantas, Halena, Darien. Either one of y'all want to say something before we move on to the next juicy question I have up my sleeve? Quantas, come on. I saw your hand. Unmute, Quantas.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I think the biggest toxic trait that no one is pointing at sometimes can be is the word expectation. Because sometimes, we see things, but we expect it to be different because we see other attributes that a person is giving off, but we ignore other things that, that normally we're attracted to. It's like we settle for, I take what's old, but as long as I get something brand new at the same time, because sometimes expectations can be a toxic trait because we overlook certain things that gravitate us toward an individual. It can be 60% toxic, 20% good, 10% we trying to figure out the other five we got others with. And the more you give yourself self observation, you can see a lot more things different because maturity plays a factor in a lot of things. And I think a lot of times we aren't mature enough to move on from something that's a pain, a killer for us. And then when we attract it, we right back into the trauma center because we expect it because this person is different or they have a different outlook, but the same toxic trait. I can deal with the trait, but I accept the outlook, if that makes sense. That's just my thought process.
Yeah. Okay.
Are those unspoken expectations or just expectations,
Yeah.
Say that again, sir.
Mr. Quan? Are those spoken
Could be
expectations
both
or
because you can
unspoken
expect.
expectations? 'Cause
It's as if when a man or a woman meets someone, right? Uh, he's
mhm,
charming, he's articulate, he's very smart. Those are spoken
he's
because
a
those things are
representative.
spoken of. You feel me? Like we see those, you see those
Right.
because those would attract to that person. See, we speak things that we already know. We all have an expectation for every individual that we encounter, especially when you have a relationship with that
In
person.
dating.
Now, the unspoken part comes
Okay.
in when you're trying to learn something about an individual. That's the difference. And then once we begin to grow, those unspoken become spoken.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Cool. I get it. I get it. That's what I was trying to get. Like, at some point, do you get it into a conversation? Well, this is what I expect, or this is what I expected from you, or do you kind of just let it go with the flow, and then once you see those expectations aren't met, hey, it's time to back out on it. I'm in retreat mode.
Well, the question comes in, when do you kick in your expectations? Because a lot of times when you meet a person initially, that's the first day you put your expectations on them, the qualities that they have. Time is the best solver of most problems because we don't take time. We allow not this is 23. Let's just be honest for a second.
Mhm.
Back in the day, it took time for us to know a person. Now, the first day you meet them, Tuesday, by Friday, now y'all expected to be in a relationship.
Do
And
you
then we
think
get
that's a
Mm.
do you think that's a us thing or
high because of that.
And I think Quantas is saying you're saying the woman, you're saying from what you've experienced, Quantas, y'all just met on Tuesday, but it's like the woman wants to be in a whole relationship on Friday. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it could be a male too. It goes a two-way street. It's just
I
not.
mean, I'm just using an example, okay, right? Because you're a man.
Correct. You're correct.
Okay,
You're correct.
'cause you're a man, that's why I said a woman. Okay, right. Or opposite. We could get right. The man could be okay. I see what you're saying. Korey, did that help?
kind of sort of, but I can't, some stuff in dating, I can't let us lay it out there like that, like expectations. Um, Failed expectations are what triggers us. Those unspoken expectations. Sometimes we, like you say, we can go on the first date, cool. If I'm vibing with you, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, I need to be telling you if we this is what you expect, and Wednesday we need to talk about it. Like, look, what you expect. Tuesday, I didn't expect this date to go so well. I didn't know I would like you like this. Where are we going from here? Um, Sometimes those unspoken, well, I'm gonna come over your house Wednesday. We went on a date Tuesday. I'm at your house Wednesday. Thursday, we out on another date. Friday, we in the park. You gave her those expectations. You align yourself with what she was thinking. Now you saying, them was unspoken expectations. No, sir. No, sir. Those were the things that you align yourself with. Um, what's unspoken. Like they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So if you didn't open your mouth and say, well, this is not what I want, ma'am, you allow her to put those expectations there. So now, are you going to fulfill the shoes? Sometimes it's on us to be accountable for the things that we put, the situations we put ourselves in. So expectations, it's a red flag for some, but I feel like when you're dating, let's be intentional and let's communicate. Like I know what I want, I know what I don't want. Let's talk about it. So we won't be lost in expectations.
Bree, you're muted.
Thank you, Gabby. Okay, Korey, that was good. Quantas, because Korey came in and kind of what I want to say. Okay, Korey kind of came in. Did you have anything else to say about that? Quantas is he frozen?
No. I have no, man. I mute my phone because I hear I don't want to interrupt anyone's time. But I understood where he come from. He's right. That's why I say some unspoken ones should take time so you can, because some things are going to show. But I do agree with the young. I do agree with him.
Got it. Okay, love it. All right, y'all. Let me ask you this. Let's mute some phones. I'm a little staticky. There we go. Not phones, microphones. All right. Okay, that was some good talk right there. Audience, don't forget, please chime in the comments. If you just tuned in, we're talking about dating in 2023. We know you out there dating, so you need to chime in, or you want to date, chime in so we can get this party started, going, or whatever, okay? How many of y'all panel, raise your hand if you think that you are the prize? Okay, I love it. All right, so that brings us to our question. Should men view themselves as the prize? We always hear that us ladies, we are your prize. Okay, Darien, Korey, Quantas, we are your prize, right? All right, so y'all, I like to have fun with this. So should men view themselves as prizes? Let's go. Come on, audience, panels, talk to me.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Why not?
Oh.
Why not? I want to be with someone that is the prize.
Well, there's some women out there that don't think so, right? Okay.
And I would love to understand why, though. Because if I'm a prize and that's what he's pursuing, I want to pursue the same thing, right? Equally yoked on all ends. So therefore, yes, yes, and pour into them so that they will feel that they will not feel as though they're not viable human beings and partners. So yes, absolutely, I want the prize. So they should feel that as well.
Love it, love it.
I agree with Halena. He better think he the prize. I am too, though. Like the same thing. Like we're all prizes. Like don't like. I think what happens, the issue comes in with the prize conversation is when one person thinks they're the prize, which means that they have to put forth no effort in the relationship at all. So it becomes a problem, I think, when women think that they're the prize and men don't necessarily view themselves or feel that they're the prize. So then the expectation is that they have to win the prize and the woman has to do nothing. And when we have men who are the prize and they look at it the other way, like the women should be falling over themselves and pursuing them, that's a problem as well. I think when it comes to two people understanding who you are, like you better know who you are and you better know you bringing whatever to this proverbial table and that you have something to offer and treat yourself as a prize and expect to be treated as a prize. I think that it works when both people understand their value. It's toxic when one person feels they have value and the other person doesn't.
Love it.
And I also agree. I definitely agree with that, Kim. And one other thing, egos kind of come into play right here. You cannot have this, again, like what Kim was saying, you can't have this mindset is of I bring such and such, so therefore I'm dominant. I'm the more dominant person. I'm the more person that is more sought after. That's not the case. Again, we bring in 100 and 100 together. It's not 50-50. So I'm really big on making sure whoever I'm currently speaking with, or we're going into a relationship, they understand that just as much as you're important, I'm important as well. And it's not going to be just because of gender, or just because of you have X amount of money, you adopt, or profession. That does not have anything to do with it. We are together collectively. We are a team. We could be a unit, a powerful unit. So again, everybody should be looked at as a prize, in my view.
Love it. So guys, do y'all notice that more women, women that you've been in relationships with, or you've been conversing with, they feel like they are more of the prize? Y'all want to talk about that issue?
I think that goes back to what we were talking about last week, about, like when we posed the question about it not being okay for a woman to propose to a man, and I get that. I get that what we were talking about, but I'm looking at it pertaining to what we're talking about now. I mean, like you said, men, we're natural. We're naturally the predator, meaning that we are the pursuers, or that's what society says. So, like that's the way that I've been. That's the learned behavior that I have. So I can't say I look at myself as being the prize. Not right off. I think after we get a little skin in the game, a little time with being with each other, then I think I can recognize if I am, a prize or not. But like initially, no, definitely not myself.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Go ahead, Korey.
Oh, I'm dope like fentanyl. I am the prize. I'm everything that you was looking for. I present myself that way. Um, and I know a lot contrary to belief, the Bible says the man is not supposed to chase the woman. Um, and I feel like I'm going to pursue you, of course. I'm going to make sure you feel wanted. I'm going to make sure I'm attentive to your needs, but equally yoked, as the young lady said. Uh, I require just as much as you require to keep me happy, to keep me in my space that develop this relationship. So yes, I am the prize, and to keep like D Will, we both watch boxing. To be the prize fighter, to be the undisputed champion, you always have to come put in that work. So we putting in that work. Let's put in that work because I want to stay. I want to stay where we are in happiness and in that peace. So yes, I feel like I am the prize, and I want to stay the champ. So that's what we gonna work on.
Love it. Thank you, Korey Barry. Quantas James, are you the prize, sir?
I don't believe in the prize, in my opinion, because the Cracker Jack box got a prize.
Wait a minute.
I'm just telling the truth. The Cracker Jack got a prize. I don't find none of us find value in the Cracker Jack box prize. So that prize goes out the door with me. But I find value in hidden treasures. That's where I find value in. Because it's the internal side that has more value than the prize. Because it could be a box, a big box with a bow. Now you expected this prize to be tremendous, and it's something small inside. So I don't view the prize or being called a prize. I think to me that's just something that we just trying to gas ourselves up, as the young folks say, gas yourself up. In my opinion, the Bible says that he that foundeth a wife foundeth a good thing, but the whole purpose he found a wife. That means he found marriage. That's the bigger prize. That's when life truly begins. I think a lot of times when we view things, people look at the value of like a ring. I believe the higher the carat, the higher the value. You know, no one looks at, they look at the value of the price. Then they proceed to look at the carat. Now we see value that he or she is worthy a certain amount, what I look at the prize is the eternal part of a woman. I need to know how it can, can she
I am
Oh,
stand
this
like
unhealthy.
I look at
my
all
bad.
I'll let who's better than it. I feel like it's I feel like sometimes being called a prize is almost like a competition. Like
Hmm.
the young lady spoke of above me, she said, who's better than the other. That's why I don't view it like that. I believe it's all on equal ground. That's why I don't believe in it. I'm okay. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. See, that's why I like these conversations are so good, because what I got out of Mr. Quantas's talk right there is that, he doesn't not see each other, like the man and the woman, as the prize. He just doesn't use that term. Prize to him means something different. So I feel like, Quantas, if you were, dating this woman and she was like, boo, I'm the prize. And I believe you're the prize too. And then Quanta says, no, we ain't no prize. Like, she doesn't need to run away just yet. Right? Like, she needs to hear him out. Communication is key. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, I would be like, what? I'm not a prize. You're not a prize. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. It just showed like these conversations are so good because we all have a different viewpoint of, of what a prize is. Yeah, yes, D. Willis, go ahead.
And just kind of piggyback off in what Q said, like, when you first uh, buy something, he referenced like a Cracker Jack box. Like when you first like purchase a car, like the value is at its highest, and once you drive off the lot, it depreciates. So I think like when it comes to being a prize, once again, like we all said, we are the prize, but that's the way you look at it because that's what you see. But after time, and seeing how long you've actually had that car and how that car is actually operating later on in the future, a few years down the line, do you actually see that as a prize? Or, do you value it more? That's the question I'm gonna put out there for the panel.
All right, the producers got a question for y'all. Did y'all hear the question? Chime in if you did.
Yeah, I mean the car depreciate value through time, but it's the upkeep that keeps the value of the car. That's the beauty part of it. That's why I don't. You're absolutely right about the price. That's why you my dog. That's why you my dog. That's why you my dog. Taught you a thing or two, brother. Taught you a thing or two.
You taught him, Quantas?
I had to teach a young Thundercat something. How
You
that
raised
go. I
that
had to
boy
teach a young
right.
Thundercats.
I understand what you're saying, the analogy with the car, but then I do feel like it's maybe not fair to compare an object with a person. Just because, yeah, the car depreciates in value, but you can't learn nothing new about a 1967 Impala. But people are alive and growing, and you can, I guess, find more valuable things about them as you learn more about them. But a car, maybe not so much. But I get what I don't want to sound like I'm like disagreeing, because I'm not, but I'm just thinking, processing what you said. And so it's hard for me to use that comparison, because when I think about depreciating in value, once you because everybody knows when you start dating somebody, it's exciting. They're so perfect in the beginning, and then you like, I don't like the way this man blink. And that might happen. But I think when I think about, the term prize, and Bree, I do agree. I think it's what we associate that meaning to be. But it's just kind of hard for me to compare a car and a human, knowing that there's so much to learn about people and so much to appreciate that you may not have appreciated in the beginning.
I believe what he's saying out the person. When you driving a car and you're dating, uh, it's the upkeep of the car that keeps the value, just like the upkeep of each individual keeps the value in steel. The more you put into your car, the more valuable it becomes. The more you put into a person, the more value it has. Because a lot of times when you first get it, just like we get excited when we start out dating. We get happy. We met Tyrone or we met Keisha. We get excited. That's something brand new, that's something refreshed. But as time grows, we have to put things into each other to bring more value, because we have to see that. And a lot of times we don't put much value and even in a car, until something happens. That's when we instill the value of the car by adding pieces and parts to replace something, to put something in. Same thing with a relationship. A lot of times we get, we see the value at the beginning. We happy, we're excited, we're elated. We tell the world that we got a significant other, just as if we got a brand new car. But if you get through time, it comes with maintenance. Just like with a person you're dating, they come with maintenance too. You got to keep the oil up. You got to keep their happiness up. You got to keep the tires rotate. You got to keep them moving, keep them motivated, keep them goal oriented. That's the analogy I believe he was trying to use in that particular situation.
Okay, that relationships call for work, and you gotta put the work in. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
To be the
All
prize.
right.
To be the prize.
Baby, I'm already is the prize. Okay. D. Willis, don't do it. Okay. You have me using all kind of correct, incorrect grammar. Baby is the prize. Don't need to put no work into D. He's saying put work into the relationship, sir. D. Willis, what you talking about to be the prize? Y'all, what was that?
I think he was saying to be the prize for us. He's saying over time. Women say it at the beginning. He views it as time goes on. A lot of times women view the prize as our TOP, as we like to say back in the day. Our top, I'm the prize. I'm not saying women on this panel. Let me. I know how. I know how y'all get gangster when y'all know y'all get tough. I know y'all get a little tough. Like
You
Brian.
saw what happened? You saw what happened?
But he's saying over time. That's how he prioritized the prize. Say, okay, I got something here. That's what he's implying.
Okay. Well, let me. I was trying to stay in my moderator mode over here, baby. You pulled it out, D. Willis. I'm trying to stay chill. All right, y'all. If you just tuned in, we're talking about dating in 2023. Share. I haven't even said that yet. Y'all share. Okay. Let's have a good old Friday morning here. Y'all, my next question, submission. Y'all ready for that one? Submission. Let me read it to you. Is submission, I'm throwing this at my panelists right here. I'm throwing this one out there for y'all today. I hope you're ready. Is submission important in a relationship? We know this is a hot topic. What does submission mean to you in a relationship? Y'all, let's talk about submission. Y'all be submitting out there? What is y'all doing? Come on, D. Willis. Was that you want to talk?
Well, I was saying about submission period. I think it is very important in a relationship, and I want to say I don't want to just because when you think about submission, I'm automatically my mind's all the way talking about sex, but I'm not looking at submission from that standpoint. I'm just saying in general, like you said, when there's an argument, are you strong enough to be that person, to be the bigger person, to submission in that sense? But I think it's very important.
Wow. Again, conversation is important because, baby, you brought up sex. That's not even where. Wow. That was okay. Good point, D. Willis. All right. Next.
I think submission is very important, but it is. Some people feel. Now, I don't know the stats on this. Some people say it's a learned behavior. I'm not a stat person, so I don't know. But I think it's important, especially from a male perspective, is that you have to learn to lead the woman into submission. That's what men are failing at. We're failing at learning to lead the woman into submission because you have to make her comfortable enough and wanting to submit, not forcing, thinking she has to because you're together, but it has to be a want from her into submission of her own will. And I think that's very important that you men establish that portion of their relationship. Let her wanting to do that more than needing because that's my husband or that's my boyfriend or my boo or sneaking link or hot dog, whatever y'all call each other. I don't know the new terminology 2023, but I think that's very important. Also for men, let me say that. I think that get lost in the whirlwind that men need to learn to submit to their women too. I don't think that's a topic that's not talked about enough. That men have to learn to be submissive to their woman. That'd be a hot topic, but I think that's very important to be submissive from both parties, in my opinion.
All right, good. Okay, good.
Piggyback off Brother Q, I definitely agree. Submission is a very key role. Both parties. It has to be reciprocated. You have to be able to lead your woman into submission. It's nothing that, and then dating properly anyway. I think it kind of gels together. Um, if you equally yoked and you're dating properly, things seem to manage to be a understanding. So being patient and being all those key things that make a relationship grow will lead into proper submission on both parties. It has to be a woman. Men are very visual, so we have to know that our woman is. We have to see, hey, oh yeah, she's hearing me. I see that, and that allows us to be more submissive to a woman. So thank you, brother Q. That is a great conversation. But men, we have to be more receptive to being submissive and understanding.
I agree. I think you two brought up a very big point that's often overlooked, especially when people throw the Bible. Well, the Bible says that a woman should submit. It's like actually, it says that we should submit to each other, and that men should love their wives. I believe this in Ephesians, that men should love their wives and wives should respect. So that word submit there means respect. And if you're with someone that I'll speak for myself only. When I'm with someone who is doing his part, and we have communicated about what that part is, so it's not an assumption, it's not an expectation. When he is taking on his role as the man in the relationship, and he's taking on his role of loving me, and he's taking on his role of supporting me, he's taking on his role of lifting me up and building me up, I can't wait to respect that man. I can't wait. Right. And so where it is often Black women get, such a hard rep about being strong Black women and this, that, and the third. But often, that is a response of what we have to do. Or again, I speak for myself, what I feel like I have to do to survive, here as a woman, as a professional woman, in America, and being independent because I'm not yet married. Right. So that's something that I, have felt in the past that I have to do so that people don't run over me, because I am physically, I'm small. I have a sweet little voice, and people take me for very sweet and take my kindness for weakness. And so stepping into that very that strong role, even with a smile on my face, for me felt like a must. But having a partner, having a man, to really to step in, and I see that it's not just the fly by night, but this is who he is, that he is going to, he's going to support me. He's not going to, belittle me. He's actually going to take on a role of a man. And for me, a traditional man, not chauvinistic, but just his role, he's going to take over his role. It's easy for me to now become soft. It's easy for me to now, to let my guards down. It's easy for me to now, again, submit, but even, using that word interchangeably, it's easy for me to respect that man.
Girl.
I want to jump in. I want to thank Quantas and Korey for pointing out that submission is fluid, that, men submit as well. I think that that's a big part of the conversation that's left out when we talk about submission. So shout out to y'all for saying that. I agree with that part of it. Submission is fluid, and I think it happens naturally when a person is more wise or capable in the situation. I don't think that and don't beat me up with the Bible. But I don't think that just because a man is a male that he's the automatic leader in the situation and should lead. Because you're not going to lead me if you're not capable in certain situations, and I'm more capable. So that's why I agree with the submission is fluid. Like, men have to submit as well, or they should if they were smart. They would submit. And when you look at a relationship, the way that I look at like submission and it being fluid and going both ways is in a relationship, in a marriage. If we're talking marriage, you got two people that should be heading in one direction. You got, two brains, four eyes, two brains, four eyes, four ears. Why use half of the resources that you have available to you in the relationship because it's just a man and he should be leading when it's a woman there that's capable as well? And not to have like gender wars, but you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody's more capable, I'm real good at writing. So if I'm better at writing and he's better at math, then let's that doesn't mean that just because he's a man he gets to lead the writing portion of the relationship, if that makes sense. But I think it is important to definitely call out that submission is definitely fluid, and men are responsible for submitting just as much as women are.
Woo! My God, that was so good, y'all. I've loved all these answers. I agree. Shout out to Quantas and Korey for saying that, and I agree with Gabby, man. Like you do the right. You show us respect. You treat us like we should be treated as a beautiful woman inside and out. Man, we're ready to like jump poles for you. What do they say? Leap poles and stuff like. How high do you want us to jump? You know what I mean? Like we're super ready when you show yourself worthy of being submitted to. And like y'all said, both of us should show ourselves worthy of being submitted to. Okay. All right. Somebody else. I feel like somebody wanted to say something real quick about that. And then I know we got to go.
Darien's face is like contorting.
Is that because we got to go? Because I know we got to go. Okay. Darien, did you want to say something about that? Okay, Halena. All right. Anybody? All right. I like it to be a little convo. I don't want any little gaps. Okay. I like our little audience. Nobody has said any. Okay. All right. Nothing from the audience yet. I hope y'all are enjoying. I know we had a little technical difficulty I see from our producer. So thank y'all for chiming back in. Anyway, y'all, this has been wonderful. We're talking about dating in 2023. I'm trying to see if we can get like one more little question out there. What y'all want to talk about? One more little question out there. Last week was good. We talked about, is marriage still the goal? Y'all want to get married? Who want to get married on the panel? Me? Anybody?
It depends on the day you ask.
That's real.
Right, girl. Because no, I'm playing. Let me stop. Woo. Okay.
I think Pastor Q got some in his toolbox, Miss Burnham.
Come on, Q. What do you want to say?
What I wanted to say about marriage?
Yeah, about marriage.
What's the question? Do I want it? I think marriage is a beautiful situation.
Have you been married?
No, I haven't. Praise God. But
Did he say praise God though?
Yeah, praise God.
Yes, we praising God on that.
Yeah, you gotta praise God when you ain't got marriage yet, because sometimes them Thundercat years was something. So we gotta leave that way it's at. Praise God.
I want to come to your church. I feel like we're gonna be laughing while flipping.
Yeah, you're gonna have a dash great time. We're gonna keep it real now. We're gonna tell the truth. We're gonna shame the devil. We're gonna get it together now.
Your Thundercat years, you was wild.
We all had them Thundercat moments. We all had them Thundercat moments.
Right.
But I think marriage should be the goal for everyone.
Excuse me.
I don't believe that you should put an emphasis on the word, but you should put emphasis on the work.
Come on,
it's cute on the wedding day, but that next day after the honeymoon, life truly begins. So it's good to say my husband and my wife, yeah, but when them doors close, that's a different type of topic for another day. So
you sound like you've been married before.
No, man.
All right, Korey, you had something to say?
Pastor, what's Thundercat moments? I'm just curious to know. Maybe it's over my head, but what is Thundercat moments?
That's back back in my young tender days when I was running with Shady Will. He was a bad influence on me. So it had me Thundercatting.
Okay. Shady Will, I got it.
Yeah, when we was young tenders, you already know. You a man, you already know what we talking about.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, for sure.
Anything Shady Will in his pay, I got you, my guy.
I
Ladies, I
appreciate it, brother.
apologize. I apologize, lady. I said I know that Pastor Q has questions in his toolbox because this is what we do. So we want to question Pastor Q. We want to know what you be talking about, sir.
Yeah. What thoughts on what, sir? What's your question?
Back to you, Ms. Burnham. He's not going to do it live.
Upon him. If you have any questions for Pastor Q, he had Thundercat days. He has never been married. Do you want kids one day?
It's a little too late for that. I already have.
It's a little. You have children?
Yes. They're
Okay.
grown.
He has how many children? 5.
What? Okay, I have someone asked me a question about relationships. I'm trying to figure out what about a relationship is my question.
Okay, yes. Yeah, ladies. Oh, can somebody mute real quick? And then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, does anybody have a question? Can somebody mute? Anybody have a question for Pastor Q? Halena, Gabby, Kim. We're just having a little fun if you just tune in, dating in 2023. We have men on the panel, y'all. We got men on the panel. Y'all out there dating. Okay, don't make me put y'all business out there. Some of you on here, I know.
I will say this here. I miss the 90s because this 2023, y'all can have it. You know, I'm tapped out of 2023. This 2023 is not what's cracking to me. You know, I miss the 90s. You know, the 90s, you can write a letter to your woman, back in the day, and the time, the date, stuff like that. So y'all probably too young to know something about them days, but
right.
That was back in my day.
I still write letters.
Oh, do you put the time and who's the song you listen to and
right? And where were you at?
Yeah. See, I know somebody felt me. I know somebody felt me on that one. I know somebody.
But I write letters and send it. And tell it what.
Shoot it all in the text.
Tell you what you mean to me.
Shoot it in the text. It all work the same.
No,
I do have a question about that. I do have a question about just dating and using maybe social media or dating platforms as a way to connect. Do you feel like that the pros and cons towards these dating apps, and is that just a cop out now to not have to really approach females? You could just do it behind your phone. So how do y'all feel about social media dating apps in 2023?
Good question.
I'm more confident. I can't lie to you. I mean, it's just the thing about me. I've had self-esteem issues in my day, so yeah, I'm extremely more confident behind the scenes. Like I feel more comfortable doing it that way if I were to do it.
But do you just keep it behind the scenes? Because what happens typically is that you meet somebody, you continue just to do the texting. It's a very limited, face-to-face interaction. So how do you really develop a relationship based off of that? How do you get from meeting that person, via whatever platform, social media, and then making that next step to really continuously work towards building a relationship outside of that space?
I believe that the pros are you get to meet someone new, maybe someone from a different state, city, different background, different ethnicity. That's a good pro. The con is, it's hard to date a person, like in my opinion. I think it's hard to date a person like that because you could be 4, 5, 6 hours. But some people feel like that's worth the drive and worth the time. Do your thing. Don't let me knock it. I can't see it personally. And those who got confidence, I'm not knocking my man on. He said, I'm not knocking it. I believe a man, if you, as my father said, if you have a mouthpiece or you charm, you know how to talk to a woman, whether it's through social media or in person. I think a lot of men are more confident through social media. Nothing wrong with that. You get to, speak freely. It's like almost texting in a sense to me. It's just pretty much just a text. It's just pretty much is. But I recommend. Well, I can't say that. I'm not a big advocate for it. don't get it twisted. You see a lot of beautiful women. As women see a lot of, nice looking men. I'm not a big advocate for it, honestly. I mean, I'm not saying anything cannot come out of it, but preferably me personally, I prefer to see her, because once you start dating, you want to see that person. And if they like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours away, that's kind of hard to develop a real, true, genuine relationship in my eyes. So I'm not a big advocate for it, but for those guys or ladies who are, that's their thing. Because I know, like you said, this is 2023. I mean, I know you have video chat, video phones, video conversations, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's nothing like sitting, eye to eye with an individual, because as we like to call it, the vibe. You want to check the vibe. The conversation's good, but you can get with somebody. And I call it the chemistry. I'm from the old school. That chemistry could be off. That chemistry could be off balance a little bit. So that's I'm not an advocate for it. Let me just say that. I mean, other guys may be.
And before Korey answers, Halena, your question was, do they find it easier to talk to a girl, like to communicate with her through social media rather than face to face and on the phone and stuff?
Yeah, because what it tends to happen is that, I mean, I've been on dating apps. We've all, I don't want to say we all, but probably some of the audience definitely have been on dating websites. And you find someone that, attractive, you're attracted to. So you swipe right. You start the initial conversations, and it doesn't seem to progress past these messages. Then we exchange phone numbers. Okay, we start to text. But when do we make that, okay, that's phone space and going into the in-person? I feel like that's the challenge. And we've become, sometimes us as women, we don't put that expectation out there that I want to see you. I want to actually go on a date. And that kind of goes back to our last question from last week. And I think that's sometimes where we as women, we do make those first steps of like, okay, so when are we going to meet up? Do you want to plan? And it just doesn't progress past that initial phase of just sending messages and texting. Yeah. And so that's what I was just saying, is that more, are you just accustomed to that now in 2023? Is this how it really is going to look like for the next few years? Or are we going to really kind of get back to, okay, yeah, we're using this as a resource, the dating apps as a resource, but we're actually going to go ahead and do the work past that.
Okay. Thank you. I think Korey had an answer for you. Korey?
She said a mouthful. I love it. Actually, you have to be more intentional with the people you meet online. Everybody's intentions aren't the same. Sometimes you have to, like you say, it's not being more, ladies are being more assertive about what they desire, because some men on those apps and online, they're not looking for love, companionship. They're looking for something easy, something to get over that moment. And ladies are looking for forever on an app instead of a friend, or looking to grow. Sometimes we go into things. Sometimes we misuse the things that we're supposed to use properly. Excuse me. We could use social media, or we can use those dating apps to propel our relationships, to grow our relationships, or we can use them to misuse people. And to be honest, it's bad people and all things that we do. Everybody's intentions won't be what you need them to be. So sometimes we just have to be cautious of who we're dating and who we're giving our time to. Not dating, just who we're giving our time to. Women have intuition. Sometimes we know things aren't going the way that we need them to go. We kind of push the envelope. And being behind a screen or being behind a keyboard, I think it's easier to identify when someone's not being genuine or authentic with you. When it comes to meeting, hey, give me a face chat or give me a call. Let me see your face. Let me get to know you. When those things are becoming like hesitant, I think we know we just try to push it for ourselves to see if this is who we want it to be. So I think it's all in your intentions and being your intentions and knowing what you want. So
Nice, nice, nice. All right, go ahead, D. Willis.
I just wanted to add real quick with that. I think dating on social media, it's a protection. It's a protection, like for all of us, like for guys, like like you said, with the time, if you decide you're interested, you can pursue it. If not, it's easier to move on. And what I mean about protection is, like people don't want to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like you meet somebody, you may not like what you see, and you don't hear from them ever again. Some people have like rooted issues with that. It messes with your mental. So I think like doing it through social media is a whole lot easier because you can deal with hurt a whole lot easier through social media than you can in person.
Wow. Halena, I think they answered your question, huh?
They did.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I just want to make sure that I'm clear. It's not a bad thing about doing the dating apps. Definitely it's it's a safe way to kind of get to know someone instead of just making those interactions just in person, because I mean this day and time it is a little scary dating. But I can't stress it enough. Don't get comfortable with the texting, with the lack of maybe face-to-face interaction, because it helps with understanding that person and getting to know that person outside of just maybe what they're saying, because anybody can say sweet nothings in a message, but it's truly how are they their actions behind that, and you really kind of see that once you start to interact together. So but y'all definitely answered that question.
That was good. Yes, pick up the phone, y'all. Call us. See, I'm telling y'all, I was trying to be good. I said I'm gonna be the moderator. It's 3 women, 3 men. But y'all know how it is. I just cannot help it. Call us. Don't be afraid. What are y'all afraid of? If you want us. If you don't, leave us alone.
Okay, Fantasia. I've not had that. I've not had that experience that it seems like maybe you've had, Halena. I have made 2 apps, and I'll say them, even though they're not sponsoring, this show yet. I've done Bumble before. I've been on Bumble before, and also there's a newer app that's supposed to be for like Christian, like cool Christian dating, right? I can't think of I think it's like Chime or like something like that. And the funny thing, I was telling my friends, I was like, girl, like do not download that Christian dating app, because it's the same Negroes. That's everywhere. I'm cleaning it up. But even with Bumble, you know what I found? I'm really bad at online dating.
Let's mute our phone. I'm sorry. Mute the microphone if you're not talking, please. It's the gremlins.
Oh, it's feedback. Thank you. That sounds better. But I found that I'm the bad person at online dating because I like making my profile. And that's it. I like picking my photos and putting them up there and being like, yes. And then I would get, feedback. In the past, have gotten feedback, and I chat a bit, and then I just get bored, So I will admit, I apologize, any men out there, if you hit me up on any of those apps. It's me. I'm the problem, not you. But I wonder, I don't see anything wrong if you two have, somehow connected on a dating app and you're both chatting back and forth. If I were to say, hey, for example, there's a paint and sip coming up, and I would love to go. Would you like to join me? I don't see anything wrong with that. And I don't think that would make me feel less of a woman, less of a feminine woman, less of a, anything, because that's something that I want to do. And I do want to meet you, and we can do it together. And if not, I'm probably still going to go just with some girlfriends. Right. So I feel like, there's nothing wrong in that situation, because it's not like you found him on the app and immediately you're like, hey, let's go on a date. No, like I'm inviting you and I'm interested in you and I would like to, see you more. And so even to, not be helpless to the situation that he hasn't asked me out yet. But, really take initiative because that's something that you want to do. And also it might, from what I'm hearing, these men might, have some self-esteem issues. It could also give them, some confidence knowing like, oh, she would like to see me. And, maybe they just haven't considered that or thought, that you actually want to, spend time with them. That just came to mind.
And then hopefully their self-esteem will rise to the level where it needs to be so that y'all can,
for sure,
do what it needs to do. But no, I'm but look, I agree with what you said, like there's nothing wrong with, I agree. There's nothing wrong with being like, hey, I want to go here. You want to go with me? And then I just feel like, everyone's place will align. The men, will be the men and pursue in the relationship, and you pursue, as a woman pursues, you know what I mean? Because we do have a place in that. I feel like it'll level out, right? You're not going to be the one, Gabby, in the whole relationship. I mean, unless y'all just want to operate like that, where you're the one pulling, hey, we're going here. Hey, let's do this. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine to like pull at a shoulder and kind of be like, All right, y'all. Oh my gosh, this has been wonderful. So last thing I kind of want to say, Quantas let us know he's old school and he's just like, man, y'all can have 2023. But Quantas, I feel like you still want to get married. So how you going to do it though? If you're not, what you going to do? Because he said y'all can have 2023. I just want you that final word.
I don't know. I got to pull out the old navigational book again and check the rules and the regulations of 2023 and see how that process goes. Because the dating pool has forgive me for saying this, has urination in it. So,
oh my God, we agree.
I gotta find a new pool to swim in. I think I'm gonna go to the suburbs and find that pool to swim in. Because
Pastor, call me, sir. Please call me, sir. I got you.
So. We're gonna figure out one day, someday. I just can't go to the public pools. I'm gonna have to go to the suburbs.
We get it. I said we, but I'm sorry, I can't speak for everyone. I agree. The pool, it does, it seems like it has a little urination sometimes. But look, okay, everybody else, what y'all gonna do? Y'all getting on the apps? How are y'all gonna approach dating in 2023? Tell the people.
I'm enjoying dating in 2023. It's not it depends on where you swim at. Yes, it does.
Korey, you be dating a couple women at a time?
That's dating. I'm not gonna just sit here and talk to one of you. Why? It's not life. That's not reality. I won't be able to find what I deserve and what I need if I just talk to one of you.
Let me get off here. I'm getting in all of y'all's business. See, that means it's time to go.
But am I wrong, Shay?
I'm in agreement, Korey. I'm in agreement with you. It's very much, hire fast. So I have experience in sales. Like, you always keep a pipeline.
Absolutely.
Of leads. You always keep a pipeline of interested people. Like, but again, there's a difference between dating. I'm getting to know you. I'm getting to know you. And so there's no, there's not a high bar of responsibility or commitment there. I'm just getting to know you. And so I'm maybe getting to know, a number of people, and most likely, I am. And as long as we have that communication open up front, why would you expect me to be exclusive to you? I just met you, the nerve of you. However, when we get into a space of relationship, then, obviously then that's more exclusive and that's one-on-one. But when I'm just dating, I'm just getting to know you. I'm going to be getting to know a number of people, because why would I just met you and I stop everything, just for you, when there are, a sea of men in that pissy pool